Good morning, everyone. So today is the 15th of February, and when I walked out of the house, it had just hit 70 degrees, light breeze blowing, and just a beautiful day to me. It was a little cool this morning, but ain't nothing bad. This is my old apple tree, and he ain't doing the best in the world. There's some worms boring into it and all, and I just hadn't got out here with the oil sprays and treated it. But it's a Granny Smith, and it's been blooming since uh, around Christmas or before. And well down that way, there's two pear trees, a pineapple and what around here we call a sand pear. It's a soft pear. This year we've really not had so much cold that my blooms have gotten frozen, so a great many of them have stayed right on the tree until they have died and dropped off and turned brown. Most times through the years past, we'll have a freeze and I'll end up with a lot of brown blooms from frostbite. Little bees is making noise. I don't know if you can hear them on the screen or not, but they're all over the flowers. Some of these like this tree that have come up from the root of the parent tree, I'm going to try to dig up and move over into the little lot. I have several planted over there, and I can see one of them right through here that has a white, the peppermint bloom on it. And I believe I see another one, and I do need to check that out because the peppermint one out there is the only one that's ever had a bloom on it before. So I'll go on with what I'm doing here and show off a few more of these blooms. Most of these I bought here from an old nursery that is no longer open, but it was the end of the year and most of them didn't have any labels on them, so I have no idea what the names were. But I just do love my camellias, and I still have seed for them. And I try to remember, a lot of times I forget all kind of things, and I have for a number of boxes where I've sold my little kratom trees. I have tried to remember to put some camellia seeds in the boxes, but I don't always do it. I forget. Same as sometimes the other day I forgot to put some turmeric in one. I think these are so beautiful. Looks really nice whenever the bridal wreath here is all open, and the forsythia, and just all of it mixed together, and that was my intention. Plus, whenever I used to get the Free City mulch, I built ridges all across my yard because it's not much of a hill, but it's enough that the water can really get to running down at times off of the road out there, and so it just kind of slows it down and turns it to where it goes where I prefer it to go, instead of so much right against my house and all. These are pineapple pear. And this is a redbud tree. I'd gotten there's one out there in the little lot back over there that oh, it'll just turn plum purple with flowers on it. This one hasn't ever had that much. I don't know if there's a male and a female to them or what, but this one has just never had the flowers that the one out there does. My silly little dog's going to see her mama. I have daffodils, and these were some, I believe, a pink centered daffodil. I have a number of different ones around. Some years they barely come up, and other years they really do well. Really nice shot on the flower of my peppermint. Another one. And this is a kind of a boxwood hedge that my mother and stepfather gave me years ago. Well, before I ever moved here, it was one of the first things, it and the fig tree, that the fig tree didn't live, but this did, and it was planted in 87, when the first year I bought the land in 87. And before they moved away from Savannah. And anyway, it has little flowers on it, and had the bees and all enjoy it, and so it has grown a good bit over the years, but I have never cut it back. It needs a little care to it. It would thicken up and be a little prettier if it was cut back. Last year I never had the first daffodil flower out here, and this was solid at one time. This year I do have one bud there, so maybe I'll see some flowers. And the coral bean bush out there hasn't ever gotten bit all the way back. The cold hasn't killed it all back this year. Some of the shoots are still green, and I had said one time it didn't make any seed, but I did notice the other day a few seed pods on it, which I still have some seed from a couple of years back. This was the first forsythia here, and I just haven't taken care of it. I've said many times I was going to dig it up and bust it up and move the plants around, because they root easy, and off of that root you could make 20 or 30 plants probably. But that was the whole thing. I had planted some of the bridal wreaths up here. My intentions were to divide them up and move them around, but it's one of those that I have done in younger days, and nowadays it's can't keep up with it, let alone trying to multiply or increase things. Bushy-tailed tree rats. And this is some kind of ornamental olive. And those little flowers just smell to beat the band. It's such a sweet thing. And it's not a really pretty bush at all, but it does in the evening when the wind is laid. It is just an amazing smell between it and the silverberry bush. And with that, I'm fixing to let it go, because I had just a little bit more up under the house that I have got to get raked out. The old insulation bagged up to where it can be put in garbage come Monday. And so that's what I'm doing. Everyone have a blessed day.